Hello and welcome to Fansha News Network. I am Sarah Abukarsh. Now with our top stories. Just 2 weeks into the new year, some good news for many Ontarians. Another increase in your hourly wage is set to take effect in October. This story with Harry Coro.
Okay, $12.64. Thank you so much. Would you like your balance? Alrighty. Have a nice day.
Mike Parisian has been working minimum wage at this cafe at Fanshawe College for 10 years now.
I work 5 days a week, 8 hours. That's very, very, very hard to find. It's actually really hard to find paid breaks too, so they pay me for my breaks as well, which is very rare.
Like Mike, minimum wage workers across Ontario will be seeing another increase in their paycheck this year. The last increase across the province brought the minimum wage up by a little over $1 from $15.50 to $16.55 in 2023.
I just find it's not keeping pace with the living, like the cost of living. So it's not keeping pace. I'd say it should be like 20, but that's just me.
The minimum wage will go up on October 1st, although it's unclear by how much.
I think maybe it'll be another maybe 50 cents or 75 cents, something around there. So maybe into 17 or 15 an hour, something like that.
I think it's a good thing because it can help the international students in their needs also.
While the next round of minimum wage increase is welcomed news for many, it may still not be enough.
I think a lot of people don't realize how inadequate the minimum wage is versus the living wage. There's a big difference, often it amounts to hundreds of dollars a week that people are short in being able to make ends meet where they live if they're working full-time at a minimum wage job.
Here in London, the current living wage is $18.55, which means if you're working 5 days a week at 8 hours a day at a rate of $16.55 per hour, you'll be earning $2,600 per month. Compared to the living wage, you'll be $360 short every month.
I don't know. I don't think a person living on their own could really manage, because I'd say minimum wage, if you're getting about 40 hours a week, you're probably going to bring in about $1,900 to $2,000 a month. Well, rents are now like $1,300, right? And then you still have to pay for food, everything else, transportation, all that. Yeah.
The new minimum wage for 2024 will be announced this April. For FNN, I'm Harry Coro.
And then if you don't like it, I'll put some more, okay?
Canada's cost of living requirements has doubled for international students. I spoke to some of them to find out how it's affecting them.
The Minister of Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada announced on December 7, 2023 that Canada will raise the cost of living requirements for new study permit applicants as the new rules started on January 1, 2024. Single applicants must now show $20,635 in addition to covering tuition and travel expenses. The Minister, Mark Miller, emphasized the need for international students to understand the true cost of living in Canada, citing the first adjustment to $10,000 requirements since 2000.
There are very less job availables right now, which automatically make everything expensive because we don't have enough money. And even the GIC, international students usually have that amount of money saved with them, which they get each month. That is also not enough for them to pay for their rents, and rents are also very high, neither for their groceries. So the basic need is food. So it's really very difficult for us to cope up with all the things.
The IRCC stated through their official website that these changes aim to protect international students from financial problems, addressing concerns about illegal work due to insufficient income.
Some students who pay attention to their jobs and the academic things at the same time, some are not able to cope up with both of them. So some fails in their courses, and for international students to reapply, the cost is really very high. So it's again a kind of burden on them. Apart from this, what I think is we came here, we are away from families, we are already so much in stress and homesickness, and this ultimately makes the situation more worse.
To support international students, the IRCC will extend the 20-hour work week limit exemption until April 30th, 2024 for those who applied before December 7th, 2023.
Electric vehicles continue to be a hot topic this new year. But does Canada have the charging infrastructure to support the demand? Jay Raj tells us more.
For promoting the culture of EV cars, a plug-and-drive event was organized in order to get the Londoners' attention.
Today we're hosting this event so customers can get the experience of an electric vehicle, to test different ones and see what works for them, what features like, the different range that they have. It's more of an education session. Customers can go on London Hydro's website and have a look at that, and it will actually show the difference between each of the price plans. And so if a customer has an electric vehicle charger in their home, then it would tell them how much they would save if they went to the overnight rate rather than the regular rate.
Due to lack in the infrastructure of power stations in London and short ranges in some of the vehicles, people are still double-minded about the chances of their success in future.
The infrastructure is not there. The government's going to have to do something about that if they're pushing for EVs in the longer term.
I think that for right now, the infrastructure system setup does need a little bit more work, inner workings. As we've been on for a drive right now, we've seen how many gas stations versus how many charging stations.
But the drivers who own them has a faith that these silent cars are going to roar on the roads.
Once you're in the car and you feel the accelerations, you can forget about the sounds. The main thing with those cars, you don't have any maintenance to make, so no oil changes, no refueling the car. Basically, you just charge it at home, charge it at work, and you're good to go.
Time will tell how EV cars are going to make their space in automobile market. For Fanshow TV, this is Jairaj.
From cars with green plates to a city ready for green bans, Cam LaRoque has the story.
London, Ontario's Green Bin program is set to begin January 15th, 2024, with hopes of reducing waste in landfills and local homes. The Green Bin is similar to the blue recycling bin, but for soiled leftovers, fruit and vegetable skins, dirty napkins, and more. Collection will take place weekly on top of garbage collection every 2 weeks, which is an upgrade from the current system.
With the Green Bin program starting in the next few weeks, it's easy to understand why some residents would be confused and frustrated as to why they have yet to receive their Green Bin.
I live in the White Oaks region and we haven't received our Green Bin yet. We were supposed to get them at the end of November, start of December there, and still hasn't came.
Only a week out from the start. For more information on the Green Bin program, you can visit london.ca. For FNN, Cam LaRoque, London.
More on the environment. A riverbank at Western University is the focus of a study to find solutions to prevent flooding in the area. Maggie Wildman has the details.
This riverbank at Western University looked completely different just a year ago. This is the site of a new bioengineering project that is aimed to create healthier watersheds.
We were looking at an area of campus that's very vulnerable to flooding and decided that it would be worthwhile to explore how we can use nature-based solutions to make that landscape more resilient to flooding, also to create habitat in an area that has a lot of ecological significance.
Native trees and live stakes of willow trees were planted in the spring and the fall of this year.
It's actually best to do the live staking when the tree is just about to exit dormancy. It can be done in late fall as well, but usually in very early spring or the end of winter. What that does is it kind of gives the tree a head start.
Another goal of this project is to protect the riverbank from erosion by creating a greater network of tree roots. Brendan says when the area stopped getting mowed, native plant species and wildflowers began to grow as well.
Pollution of the Thames River is an ongoing concern, so it's not just what's happening right on campus, it's also what's right downriver.
With FNN, I'm Maggie Wildman.
Just ahead, Humane Society London and Middlesex is gearing up for a big move. Details about Covent Garden Markets by Local campaign coming up, and is Best Buy getting rid of all its DVDs and Blu-rays? These stories next on FNN. Welcome back. I am Sarah Abukarsh and thanks for joining us. A new popular American fast food chain has opened in London. FNN's Cam LaRoque has the story.
The popular American fast food chain restaurant Chick-fil-A is finally open in London and has become one of only 13 locations in Canada.
New experience for the Chick-fil-A is very exciting. Like having this big restaurant in a major growing city is also a huge thing. So super excited. This is my second time. I've been on here on the first day. I got like the little snow cone, so I was really excited about that too. And I can't wait for more food, you know. So
the highly anticipated restaurant drew in quite the crowd for its first few opening days, and the long lines and wait are said to be expected any given day.
Obviously, we didn't want to go to the drive-thru because the line is absolutely insane.
I think, it's going to get busy. Like every other location, if you go in the U.S., it's always this busy, especially inside as well. So, I mean, it's a big chain and everything, so it's expected. So,
despite the heavy traffic flow, Chick-fil-A was well prepared with numerous precautionary tactics in use. Chick-fil-A can be found on the corner of Warncliffe and Wonderland Road South. Be prepared to wait, but you will not be disappointed. FNN, Cam LaRoque, London.
Is Best Buy getting rid of all its DVDs and Blu-rays? Ethan Lepton with this report.
From wireless speakers to TVs and computers, Best Buy has been known to have it all. But as of 2024, they will be removing all physical media, leaving only by a small fraction of what it once was. We went to Fanshawe College to ask the students what they thought about this.
Digital is so much more accessible and you can get so many more movies all at once, whereas with DVDs or Blu-rays, you just get one at a time and it kind of costs a lot of money.
Other students were also eager to chime in on their take.
I think physical media, the main difference being once you own it, it's yours. Something can get taken off of a streaming service like that, it's not there. But if you own it, it's yours to have. I mean, streaming is just, you get a more wide variety of content. Like I've watched stuff that I never would have watched before just because it was on there.
But here, at The Beat Goes On, Millar Jensen is one of the few that can't live without his prize collection.
I like owning my stuff too, in case ever a rainy day, no internet, stuff like that, and having it in its original content, right? Like preserved without any modifications by whatever place that wants to make changes to it.
Millar has been left upset by this news, but he remains hopeful for the future of this media.
It's something I'm passionate about, so seeing it leave Best Buy soon, and then making that decision is definitely a little bit of a bummer, but I hope places like this keep people with the nostalgia and keep them buying.
While 2024 may mark the end of physical media sales, there will always be a large fan base to ensure its preservation. For FNN, I'm Ethan Lupton.
Covent Garden Market is continuing its loyalty program to reward customers who support London merchants. Sumai Aka tells us more.
Welcome to the Covent Garden Market, located in the heart of downtown London.
There's so many different flavors of food here, different cultural foods here.
Known to its locals as the destination hub and community gathering space, the market has a spot for everyone. From fresh local produce, a wide selection of food vendors, flower shops, and so much more. With the rising cost of living, London's Covent Garden Market has given all types of shoppers the opportunity to support local. The Downtown Market just launched its new Market Loyalty Card program, and you'll get rewarded for supporting London merchants.
Cool. So with the loyalty program, we find that it's like a really positive benefit for the market. It's a really great incentive for customers to not just get a chance to like redeem points, but then also get repeat business back for the vendors, things like that. Noticing lots of people who have them or are keen to get them. Most customers are quite receptive to having it and really like the idea of it being something that we're providing. So it's really great to just see just different opportunities to build repeat clients, build in regulars and such.
For this local London woman, it does exactly that.
Thought it was a great way to save money. So I was like, why not do it and see how it goes? And so far, it's been really good.
The Covent Garden Market is not just a market, it's a community. Your support means the world. Stay tuned, stay connected, and don't forget to sign up for your loyalty card to enjoy the benefits waiting for you. For Fanshawe News, I'm Sumai Aka.
Humane Society London and Medal 6 is gearing up for their big move this year. Harry Coro was at their location on Clark Road.
This is the site where the new facility for Humane Society London and Middlesex will be opening sometime in 2024. Construction is ongoing, and so is their fundraising program.
We are approximately $2.3 million short right now on our goals, and that might be a little off on the number. I think it's a little bit less at this point, but we are edging towards that final goal number, and so it's super exciting.
The new facility is on Dundas Street and will be 3.5 times bigger than their current home, of fewer than 930 square meters on Clark Road.
The hallways are pretty tight, and so passing through and passing each other, especially if someone's handling a canine, it's a struggle. Outside, small dog runs, we want more space for those animals, and even for our volunteers to be able to go for that walk. Walking up and down a busy street isn't always the best situation for anybody.
For 120 years, this place has witnessed many special moments for the community, volunteers, and staff. For Victoria, this was the place she first met Lady.
She came in really rough shape. She was super matted. Her owner abandoned her. We didn't know how long she had to live. She is also pretty old too, so I begged to take her home just for a weekend, and that weekend turned into over a year.
98%.
9 years at this location, Patty has grown to love this place.
I mean, it'll be sad going because I learned everything here and the process of going, but it'll be really good to get into a brand new facility that's going to be way more equipped with what we need for the future.
Harry Coro, Fanshawe News Network, London.
Entertainment news with Gory Nair coming up when FNN continues.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gauri Nair with your entertainment news. London is home to some of the most fascinating personalities. Kira Drover spoke to one of them.
That's the theory. That's it. Numbers have never been a problem for one of Western University's actuarial science professors, Steve Kopp. But this dark night takes on a different persona outside of the classroom, where he's best known as the voice of Western Mustang sports.
You know, I kind of look at both of them kind of as my identity, but one's my day job and one's my secret identity. The radio stuff is kind of like my secret superhero identity, I guess you want to use that.
After being named to the Mustangs Hockey Wall of Honor in 2014, Steve's secret was out. And after 43 years of voluntarily broadcasting Mustangs events, he'll be remembered for his longtime mustache and passion for sports radio.
The guy just loves Mustang sports. I mean, he's just got the desire to do it and the drive to do it still. And I hope he does it for another 40 years if he can. Yeah, I don't know where the station would be without that mustache, you know? I'm not sure, is he still rocking it?
While Steve has shaved his iconic mustache, he's still committed to calling Westerns games. Recently, he traveled 3+ hours for a hockey game in North York's Canlan Ice Sports. But Steve admits that retirement hasn't quite crossed his mind.
That's a great question. Has it crossed my mind? It hasn't really. I mean, as long as I'm still healthy and I can still do it and they're willing to have me, I'll continue to do it. So I haven't really thought about, well, when's the day you're going to do your last show?
It seems that Radio Western's Sports Cop is beating Father Time. But if the station were to suddenly close, Steve realizes that he's been lucky to call Western's radio station home for nearly half a century.
Well, what if it's shut down tomorrow? What if they just say, you know, we're cutting your funding and it's shut down? Yeah, absolutely, I would miss it, both the sports especially and the radio show that I do. But I would also look back and say, man, I had 43 years there. A lot of people only get 1 or 2 years, so that's pretty good.
Fortunately, both Steve and the station have no intentions of closing things down anytime soon. In the meantime, listeners can keep tuning in to Steve's famous closing words. Thanks for spending part of your day with me. For Fanshaw's News Network, I'm Kieran Drover, London.
From a professor/hockey announcer, Harry Coro introduces us to the man who's literally behind the scenes at Highland Cinema.
Sometimes I'll get it wrong, but I'll be back up there to fix it.
Victor Lloranes does his job to the letter.
You gotta watch out for these bike riders. They're ruthless and relentless.
He's the kind of guy who makes sure everything runs smoothly outside and inside.
I do everything to do with the features and digital and all that stuff. I do the marquee. I do all our social media. Not all, but most of our social media.
Victor goes the extra mile, helping out wherever he can in here. From making popcorn and handling cash to getting the cinema ready after each movie ends. He is Highland Cinema's resident projectionist, a job he takes seriously and one that captured his imagination when he was just 11 years old.
Just being taken to the movies all the time and always being fascinated with it. And then those theaters where you could actually still see in the booth and you could see the reels spinning and the film going into the projector. And it's like, how does that turn into this? I was hooked.
One of the many things that Victor loves about his job is this office. It contains anything and everything movies, from posters to rare 35mm prints to expensive movie memorabilia.
So this was a special limited edition Jaws book that included a piece of the Orca right there, fiberglass piece of the Orca 2, which is the one that they could sink like that, and they could raise it back up and then sink it again for different takes.
Working 6 days, sometimes 7 days a week, it's easy to lose that initial excitement every time a movie's played. But Victor says it's not the case for him.
I don't really get tired of any of them. Every show was a new performance, because every audience is pretty much experiencing it for the first time. So to them, it's happening for the first time, even on my 100th time.
Every day, he waits for one movie to end.
And the movie currently playing is Killers of the Flower Moon. 11 minutes left to go.
What happens after 11 minutes?
Oh my God. At that point, the lights will come up, and then the stage lights will come up, and the curtains will close.
And when it does, Victor is happy to do it all over again.
It's all worth it. That's what these tests are for.
For FNN, I'm Harry Coro.
From projectors to vinyls, Kieran Drover now takes us to one of London's favorite record stores.
For Robert Charles Dunn, the 23-year owner of the Village Idiot, music and the vinyl record store itself took on a greater significance after the devastating loss of his wife.
So she wanted her own store, and this is it. Unfortunately, she passed away. So I kind of ended up getting stuck with it. But the thing is, I've been in the music business my whole life, so it wasn't too bad. If it had been a jewelry store, it would have been terrible. But it's turned out okay.
In his wife's honor, Robert has translated his passion for music into building a music enthusiast's heaven in the heart of Wortley Village. For his customers, they too can use records to share their musical passion with close family members.
I remember my dad would play some of his Alice Cooper records when I was a kid. That was his first concert that he went to when he was 18 years old, so he would play those a lot when I was a kid, and I got him one for his birthday last year.
While Robert doesn't know how much longer he'll run the store, he understands the significance of music, because music can be therapy, and the owning of a physical piece of meaningful art brings us closer together with our favorite artists, and most importantly, the people we love.
The City Council opens its doors to the public, and a local shoe repair shop is gaining some well-deserved recognition. That's next on FNN.
Welcome back. You are watching FNN and I am Sarah Abukarsh. A local shoe repair shop is making London proud. Jay Raj has the story.
Gary Coakley is a local shoemaker for nearly 30 years. He has won the bronze medal at the Ayers Silver Cup in North America's largest and most prestigious shoe repair competition.
I've been doing it for so long, working for somebody else. It just didn't make sense to carry on filling their pockets with money when I could fill my own. We used to use the washroom for the cobbler. It was in front of where we used to set up the little market stall. So we'd go in there and we'd use his washroom throughout the day, sort of thing. First thing in the morning when he'd first get there, we'd need to go to the washroom, so we'd run in and go to the washroom. And then he put up a need a trainee, trainee wanted. So it was raining one day, and I went in there and I said, "Hey, Paul," and I said, "Paul, can I do this?" And he said, "Yeah, let's give it a go." And 27 years later, here I am.
I think word of mouth is really important and to promote the local talent and competitions like the one Gary won, if that can be advertised or publicized in our local newspapers, radio, things like that. I think that helps us to recognize who's doing great work in London. I just know that I'm always pleased with his work, so I'm really happy that he won. It's good for London, put us on the map.
You have to do the thing you can.
For Fanshaw TV, this is Jairaj.
City Hall opened its doors to Londoners to showcase some of their plans for the next 4 years. Abe Lynn has the details.
The City of London hosted an open house showcasing their draft budget plan, which focuses on the next 4 years for the city.
This is our formal open house, and it's an opportunity for all Londoners to come out and to get more information about our multi-year budget.
Londoners could come by to check out the information the city had provided, also having the chance to talk with city reps present at the open house.
I'm just interested in the budget process, so I'm dropping by the open house to get some information.
For me, I want to be a voice for the public, and I want to advocate for more public transportation. I see a lot of potential in the Wonderland Road.
My main concern is environmental concerns and the climate emergency, so I'm looking for information around that.
The city hopes to use feedback given at these events to improve upon the drafts, with more open houses planned for the future as the city looks to finalize the budgets by March. Abe Lynn reporting from FNN.
Thanks for watching. For FNN, I am Sarah Abukarsh.